Alright, so let's start off the lesson today with some questions from the Simplifying All Types worksheet that I've gotten through email from some students, and some common issues I'm seeing, and want to talk about those before we move on to the next part. By this point, you should have already turned in your Simplifying All Types worksheet. If you have not, make sure you submit that immediately. Pause the video and go submit that. So, first let's talk about this question right here. 7 over 12 minus 4x over 3x. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the LCD. And with our LCD here, we've got 12 and 3x as my denominators. Remember, LCD is least common denominator, so 12 and 3x. The ideal LCD here would be 12 because 3 goes into 12 and x. Alright, some of you have used the LCD 36x because you take your 12 and you take your 3 and you just multiply them together. 36x works. There'd be nothing wrong with that. You just have to simplify your answers down the road because you picked an LCD that is bigger than needed. So let's go back to working with 12 here. And so if my LCD is 12x, in this denominator I already have a 12. So to get from 12 to 12x, I need to multiply this side top and bottom by x. Over here, I've got a 3x, so my x is covered, but I need to get to 12, so I need to multiply top and bottom by 4. So when I do that, over here I get 7 times x is 7x over 12x minus 4 times 4x is 16x over 12x. And then I can simplify down. 7x minus 16x is negative 9x over 12x. And then kids ask, when can I simplify? Remember when we went back to factoring and we talked about 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, and 5 terms, we said the plus and minus signs break up how many terms we have. And to be able to simplify, you have to have that number in common in every term in the problem. So when I look at this one, I've got negative 9x up top, that's one term, and 12x, that's one term, because there's no plus or minus in the denominator or numerator. So, up top I have an x, down below I have an x. Those cancel. Up top I have a negative 9, down below I have a 12. Well, 3 goes into both of those. 3 goes into negative 9, negative 3 times, and 3 goes into 12 4 times, therefore giving me an answer of negative 3 over 4. Alright. So, jumping up here to a question like this. Alright, 15x squared over 45x to the third divided by 5x to the sixth over 9x to the fourth. The first thing we would recognize is it's a division sign. Alright, with a division, we're not finding the LCD. We're going to keep our first fraction the same. We're going to flip my second fraction, so the 9x to the fourth comes up top, and the 5x to the sixth goes down below, and I change my sign from division to multiplication. Now, with multiplication, it's just one long fraction line, and I prefer to cancel my numbers early, but cancel my variables late. And what I mean by that is, when I look, I have a 9 up here, and that goes into 45 5 times. I have a 5 up here, and that goes into 15 3 times. So, up top, I'm left with 3, and then x squared and x to the fourth. When we're multiplying, that's just adding those exponents. And down here, I'm left with 5, and an x to the third, x to the sixth. When you're multiplying exponents, you simply add them. So, I cannot simplify my 3 over 5 at all. But I have 6 x's up top, 9 down below. Remember, when trying to simplify this, we say, where are there more x's? Well, there's more x's down below. And how many more? There are 3 more down below. Therefore, that's my final answer. So hopefully that helps. If you go through and you have any questions on any of that, please let me know, and I'll be happy to walk through a video and try to help you with any of your problems. Now, let's get on to the new topic for today. And this topic is solving rational equations. And solving rational equations is an equation that contains one or more rational expressions are called rational equations. This is hugely important right here. If you see an equal sign, you have to multiply the entire top by the LCD, and that is different than what we've done so far. With multiplying and dividing rational expressions, we did not find the LCD at all. With adding and subtracting rational expressions, we found the LCD and just multiplied top and bottom by what we were missing in the denominator to get to the LCD. But here what we're going to do is we're going to find the LCD and we're going to multiply every term in that LCD by, every term in the equation by the LCD. So these equations are easier to solve once we eliminate the fractions. We call this clearing the fractions, which we've talked about before. We're trying to get rid of the denominator so that way we can solve it a lot easier. So first thing we need to do is find the LCD. So when looking at example 1, I've got an x plus 3 in one denominator. I've got a 6 in another denominator and 18 in the last one. So first off, that x plus 3, that has to be included in my denominator because that's a quantity. Then I have 6 and 18. Okay, what number do both 6 and 18 go into? Well, they both go into 18. So, before, when simplifying, adding, subtracting, all we would do was multiply by what we were missing in my denominator to get to the LCD. Now, we're going to take this LCD and we're going to multiply each part. So, I've got my first part right here. So I'm going to take my LCD of 18, x plus 3, I'm going to multiply it by my first part of 4 over x plus 3. I then have a plus sign. Next up, my second part is 5 over 6, and I'm going to multiply that by my LCD. And then my last part is 23 over 18. And you guessed it, I'm going to multiply that by my LCD of 18, x plus 3. Alright, so hopefully we see that this part right here that I'm highlighting in green, all that is a multiplying rational expressions. So we know anything in the top can cancel with anything in the bottom. So I got an x plus 3's that will cancel. And all I'm left with now in that green spot is 18 times 4. Pull the plus sign down. In my blue spot, I've got a 6 in the denominator and an 18 up top. Well, 6 goes into 18 3 times, which leaves me with 3 times 5 times x plus 3. And then last but not least, in my spot over here, my 18s will cancel, and what am I left with? Well, I'm left with 23x plus 3. Alright, so now when I look at this equation, all my denominators are gone, which again is the whole part of trying to clear my denominators. We can solve this. This is basically an intro to Algebra 1 solving problem. So 18 times 4 is going to give me 72, plus 3 times 5 is 15, and I need to distribute that 15 to both of these spots. So I've got 15x plus 45 equals, again, distribute this 23 to both terms, 23x plus 69. So now I'm going to combine like terms. So over here on my left side, I got 45 and 72, which should be 117 plus 15x equals 23x plus 69. And now I'm going to solve. So I get all my x's on one side by subtracting the 15x over. and all my constants on the other side by subtracting the 69 over, which is going to give me 48 equals 8x. Divide by 8, and I get what I believe is my answer of x equals 6. Remember, anytime you solve for x, we can check our solution to see if we're right. Our statement should make sense at the end. So, zooming out, I'm going to plug back into my original equation they gave me. So I've got 4 over x, which I found my x to be 6, plus 3, plus 5 over 6 should equal 23 over 18. So let's go ahead and check that. 6 plus 3 is 9. And then I got to find a common denominator to be able to add fractions. So 9, 6, and 18. Okay, what number do 9, 6, and 18 go into? Well, all three of these go into 18. So to get this 9 to be 18, I got to multiply by 2. So I got to do the top and bottom. To get this 6 to be 18, I got to multiply by 3. And so I'm left with 8 over 18 plus 15 over 18 equals 23 over 18. And I hope we can all see that that is a true statement. Therefore, x equals 6 is my solution. Alright, so using that prior method, let's go ahead and look at another example and see how we're doing. Example 2, solve the equation and then check your solution. So 2 over x plus 3 plus 3 over 2 equals 19 over 10. So go ahead and pause the video, use my prior example, and I want you to write this problem down and I want you to try to solve it by yourself to see maybe where you're getting stuck at. So pause it. Alright, so now we're back. First thing I do is find our LCD, and my LCD here should be 10x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply each term by 10x plus 3. Alright, so now we've got 3 multiplying rational expression problems here, so I can cancel my x plus 3's here. 2 goes into 10 5 times, and my 10's cancel over here. So in this first spot, all I'm left with is 10 and 2. In my second spot, I'm left with 3 and 5 and x plus 3. And then in my last spot, all I'm left with is 19x plus 3. So 10 times 2 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. And when I distribute that, I'll get 15x plus 45 equals, distributing the 19 gives me 19x plus 57. I'm sorry, that should be in blue. So on my left side, I can combine like terms, giving me 65 plus 15x, because I've got a 45 and a 20 there, equals 19x plus 57. Subtract the 15x over, subtract the 57 over, and I get 8 equals 4x divided by 4, and I get what I assume is my answer of x equals 2. So to check that again, we go all the way back up to my original question. So I've got 2 over x plus 3, and I assume my x is 2, plus 3 over 2 equals 19 over 10, which is 2 over 5 plus 3 over 2 equals 19 over 10. So my denominators are 5, 2, and 10. To find a common denominator, all three have to go into the same number, which is 10. So I multiply top and bottom by 2 there, top and bottom by 5 there, which gives me 4 over 10, plus 15 over 10 should equal 19 over 10. I think we can all do that math, so x equals 2 is my correct answer. Alright, hopefully we're doing great. Go ahead and pause the video again and work on my next example of 7 over 12 plus 9 over x minus 4 equals 55 over 48. And I got an LCD here of 48 x minus 4. So, multiplying there. And then go ahead and cancel. Gonna get over here 28 times x minus 4 plus I think 432 there, and 55 times x minus 4. Distribute the 28. 12 432 equals 55x 20. Combine my like terms over here. Divide by 27, and we get x equals 20. And you can go ahead and check your solution from there, which I've done right down here. So, hopefully this helps get you started on solving rational equations. Your homework is going to be these 5 problems right here, just kind of get you introduced into it, because we'll do more of these problems come Friday. Alright. Next up, I want to talk about kind of a schedule so that you're familiar with what is going to be happening the rest of the year. So today is the 21st, and we got our solving equations, rational equations notes, and started on homework. 23 is going to be on the 24th, still getting used to this schedule. On the 24th, we're going to be expanding this, working more on problems where you have to factor first, then multiply by multiple terms, and so forth. So that's going to be on the 24th. Your quiz is going to be on the 28th. All right. Review day on the 1st, and your test over all rational expressions / rational equations is going to be on the 5th. All right. Your grades are all posted so far. I know several of you are using this Photomath app or Photomath app, which for homework, so be it. But on your quizzes and tests, understand that's academic dishonesty. I know that you're using this. You're doing methods that I've never seen before, that I shouldn't say I've never seen before. I've seen them before because I've done them in class, and you guys have all told me that you don't know what I'm doing or what that is. So I know, after using the Photomath app myself, that you're using it because you're using the AC method, and none of you have told me that you used the AC method before. And I've looked back at your factoring work that you've turned in, and you didn't do any AC method. So if you're doing that, you got one test remaining that is going to be a good portion of your score. And on this quiz and test, you're going to have your phone and your iPad available, because on your phone, you're going to have Zoom, and you're going to be taping what your iPad is. So you're going to have it angled so that I can see what you're writing on your iPad, so that way I know you don't have Photomath open, you don't have your notes open, nothing like that. Per the usual, the quizzes will be short. So, on Tuesday of next week, on the 28th, you need to have, I will let you know the for sure time period come Friday, this Friday, but on the 28th, you need to have a window open because we're going to have a Zoom session when you take your quiz. Therefore, I can see all of your iPad screens at the same time. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. Have a wonderful day. All right. Please, 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 I cannot stress this enough. If you have any questions, email me. That is what I'm here for, is to help you. Have a great day.